Hey guys, what's happening? This is Divyansh and welcome to the United Talk. Today we'll be talking about the latest transfer news and updates about Manchester United Football Club. The last time when I spoke about transfers on this channel, guys, I mentioned Declan Rice and Wilfred Ndidi and how United should go for one of these two players. But the latest news is that United are not into the market to go out and buy a defensive midfielder, especially this season. Because the priorities are very simple, the priorities are straightforward. It's a winger, it's an attacking or a creative playmaker, and a midfielder. And if that's the case, I'm just assuming that maybe they have the striking position sorted out because if they are not looking to go out and buy a striker, it might mean that they might have just logged in on Odin Ighalo and keeping him for the next 1 or 2 seasons, which is a very good with very good work in the transfer market if they've done that already. But if they haven't, they should be looking at doing that. But let me start this video by talking more about Jadon Sancho, and this guy has been linked with Manchester United for almost a year now. He's 20 years old, playing in Bundesliga, and I see no reason why he would not want to leave Borussia Dortmund this season and come to Manchester United. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are so many teams in the world who would love to have Jadon Sancho. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, and Chelsea have all been touted as a potential destination for Jadon Sancho. But see, if you talk about Real Madrid, they have Hazard and Vinicius Jr. So Jadon Sancho doesn't start when they have these two guys. Plus, they want to get Mbappe and Pogba as well. To talk about Barcelona, they have, apart from Messi and Suarez, they have Griezmann, they have Ansu Fati, they have Ousmane Dembele, and then they want Neymar. So what's going to happen in that situation? So another potential destination marked cross for Jadon Sancho. And because he's English, he would want. I'm assuming he would want to come back to England some point in his life. And if it's going to be this season, then it's only going to be either at Liverpool or at Chelsea or at United. Now, again, similar to the Barcelona and Real Madrid situation, if you look at Liverpool right now, you have Firmino, Salah, Mane, and unless you see one of these three leaving, there's not enough room for Jadon Sancho because that player, that kind of player, needs to start week in week out. Will he do that at Liverpool? I am not 100% sure. To top that, the financial offering, the financial impact that Manchester United has over these players in today's market. Liverpool cannot compete with that. The check that United can offer to Jadon Sancho on a weekly basis is unmatchable. No English team can match that apart from Manchester City. That's because of the oil that they have. But City, he's not going back to City, that's for sure. So Liverpool for me is way behind Manchester United in the race to sign Jadon Sancho. And you talk about Chelsea now. Chelsea makes much more of a sense because Chelsea they have signed Hakim Ziyech and they have Christian Pulisic as well. But if you look at their front three or front four, Willian will be most likely leaving this summer, and then this guy Pedro. Pedro has become more of a liability than a threat or than an asset also for that matter for Chelsea. So they do have a space for one such upcoming brilliant winger, someone like a Jadon Sancho. But again, the financial might of Manchester United might just get this deal done. And we are known to throw around cash. We are famous for throwing around cash, and I have no problem if we do that with Jadon Sancho. And to top that, I think Sancho's relationship with Marcus Rashford is another criteria that will be evaluated over this deal because Rashford has a very good relationship with Jadon Sancho. They are really friends. They are very good friends. So that can also have a very positive impact when it comes to Sancho coming to Manchester United. So all in all, I will give it a 7 out of 10. Sorry, I think the only reason or the only way Sancho does not come to Manchester United this season is because if we don't qualify for Champions League, and there's a high possibility of that as well. We don't know what's going to happen to the league. We don't know even if we do end up completing the league, will we qualify for the Champions League or not? I'm not sure. I don't know. Nobody knows that. So that may be the only reason why he does not end up at Manchester United. The fee quoted and the fee most likely will be around 100 million pounds, 100 and 110 million pounds. A world record fee by Manchester United, not a world record, but the record fee by Manchester United to be paid for any player. Moving on from Sancho, and there was news about Kai Havertz. Now we spoke about Kai Havertz in the last video as well. A teenager tutored by almost every big club in the world. Now he's a German player, and the problem with German players is that they tend to normally move only to Bayern Munich from any other team in Germany in Bundesliga. So if that's the case, then we know that he's not going anywhere apart from Bayern Munich. even if that's not the case, I think the priority for Manchester United right now is Jack Grealish because they have been admirers, long-term admirers of Jack Grealish. Now, forget about the incident that happened with Grealish over in the past 2 weeks ago or something like that when he actually crashed his car, his SUV, and he was not obeying the rules of the lockdown. So keeping that aside, because that's more of a moral high ground that United can take in this situation, but I don't think United should do that because there have been players like Ryan Giggs, there have been players like Wayne Rooney, there have been players like John Terry in the past who've nowhere near been moral in any way possible. So, I mean, and they're all legends of the game. They're all very respectful players. Now, forget about what kind of people they were outside. I'm not going to come out and comment on that. But let's keep the moral side aside and let's just focus on getting this player because if we can get Jack Grealish about 50-60 million from Aston Villa, and if we can control the guy to have some kind of discipline, he can be a great asset, a great value to Manchester United. Another option could be James Madison, but I think Madison will be more expensive than Grealish, and Grealish will move this summer. We don't know about Madison, but Jack Grealish will leave Aston Villa this summer. If United don't want him, he might just end up going to Everton or even Tottenham Hotspur for that matter. I don't see him going at Arsenal because nobody wants to go at Arsenal. City, Liverpool, Chelsea are not interested in him. So I think when you're talking about teams like Leicester, teams like Everton, teams like Tottenham, who might just end up buying him, but he's going to leave Villa this summer, that's for sure. So if United want him, United will get him. That's clear. The third guy, now this is a midfielder, Jude Bellingham, a 16, 17-year-old midfielder who United have been tutoring since past 6 months now. He visited Carrington as well with his parents, met Sir Alex Ferguson, met all the other executives at Old Trafford. He also been tutored by Borussia Dortmund. Now, if we can get him in about 30-35 million, we're talking about 110 million for Jadon Sancho, 60 odd million for Jack Grealish, and then another 30-35 million for Jude Bellingham. 200 million spent net. You get three players, one creative midfielder, one winger. Boom. And then there have been talks about Joe Randon from Swansea City. He's a 20-year-old defender, 6 feet 4 inches tall at 20 years of age, ball playing defender, and exactly looks like a Solskjaer type defender. So the release clause I believe is about 20 million, so that will make sense as well. He can be the impact signing how Daniel James was or is rather. If you talk about, there have been some news in some publications, some articles about Sergei Milinkovic-Savic because now we don't know what's going to happen to Paul Pogba, but even if Paul Pogba leaves, I don't think that United will go for Sergei Milinkovic-Savic because first of all, uh, he's a Lazio player. He's a good player. He's a great player that way, and I would love to have him at Manchester United. But to pay 90 odd million for Sergei Milinkovic-Savic does not make sense. It does not, and especially for a player coming from Italy, he'll take about a season or so to even adjust. Now, Bruno Fernandes has actually proved all of us wrong by adjusting to life so quickly at Manchester United, but he's one of the only players to be able to do so in the past 6-7 years. You talk about Di Maria, Falcao, you talk about Fred, you talk about Eric Bailly, you talk about, I mean, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is another example, but Zlatan and Bruno Fernandes have only been able to do so. So it's a ridiculous amount of money that they are asking. So I don't see this happening. Uh, any other players, Koulibaly, for example, who have been linked with Manchester United, it just they're trying to fill in papers, columns in the newspapers. So that's all rubbish because we don't need defenders, and United are not in the market for defenders. But if you look at selling Chris Smalling, for example, and that deal to go permanently to Roma is something that can happen. 15 million is the price quoted for him. So if we can get 15 million for Smalling, offload Jesse Lingard somehow, get another 30 odd million, 25-30 million from him. So if we can get about 50 odd million from the sales, I think our net spends in this summer could be 150 million if we are able to keep Pogba. If Pogba decides to leave, we don't know. I mean, I don't know whether Pogba will leave or not because he's been very professional about all this throughout. And Mino Raiola is an asshole, right? Mino Raiola has made all the noise, but Pogba hasn't. We don't know whether Pogba will stay, Pogba will leave. If Pogba leaves, there are two possible destinations, Real Madrid and Juventus. Who will want to come and pay 100 odd million for Paul Pogba this summer? I'm not sure, neither one of them, because the priority for one is Mbappe. We know which one that is. The priority for two is to maintain the finances that they have because of Cristiano Ronaldo, because Ronaldo is on such a big salary. So it's difficult. I don't see people coming in and paying 100 million, and I don't see Pogba leaving Manchester United unless he comes out and says, "No, I want to go, make it happen." Then of course they will have to make it happen. But I think 1 year release clause, 1 year extension will be triggered in his contract. So that's that. So if we can keep hold of Pogba, we have Bruno, we have, and we can buy Jack Grealish. Look at that team. It has Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial. It has Bruno Fernandes as a creative playmaker, Paul Pogba as a box-to-box creative midfielder, and then someone like a Fred sitting with Jack Grealish waiting in the stands to come on and make an impact and maybe even rotate the squad. So it's a good team, and these three signings, if you're able to keep Pogba and sign Grealish, and Grealish, and another striker, along with a squad player for like a Jude Bellingham as a midfielder, and keep Pogba, it's gonna be a very very good side, at least on paper. And then you're looking at City, United, Liverpool, and Chelsea maybe, who can be the top four strongest sides in the Premier League, along with Everton and Leicester City playing right up there. Tottenham again because of Harry Kane, because of Dele Alli, are still a very strong side, but you don't know what happens to Harry Kane. Where does he go? Do let me know what you think about the video, guys. I hope all of you are at home, safe and sound. Please stay inside. Thanking all the doctors and nurses out there for the wonderful job that have done in the past 2-3 months, and they continue to do so. If you like the video, please don't forget to comment and share the video. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. Stay indoors, stay safe, take care.